But it just kind of depends on where they are.
Okay.
So, anything else? Okay, now you get to actually see what this looks like after I read these quotes. This one is about the 7 steps, and this is his alternative to forced prompting. So this is how we get away from forcing a child to learn, and this is why it's important. Adults tend to become more demanding when a child ignores their demands. As a result, the more demanding the adult becomes, the more determined the child is to refuse the demands. This ever-increasing cycle spirals out of control in far too many teaching relationships. Pulling your child toward work will only increase your child's motivation to escape work. Children who choose to rejoin the teaching process are more likely to leave it again, or less likely to leave it again, and more likely to display maximum effort. So if you think about when you're being asked to do something, especially if any of you are married, if you're mad at your spouse and they keep trying to talk to you about it and work things out while you're mad or while you're refusing to do it, how well does that go over? Usually not very well, right? Like, you have to be in a more calm situation. And if you think about with your child, when they're already upset and tantruming, if you try to present other demands or get them to follow through while they're upset, how well has that worked for you? Probably not very well. And it drives me crazy when I see like news reports about kids who are getting in trouble because they like bit their teacher while their teacher was restraining them in a chair, trying to make them work. Well, I would probably bite you too if you were trying to make me work and forcing me to sit in a chair. So this is getting at, like, as human beings, we have fight or flight responses. And usually when we're in a situation where we don't want to be there, we're going to fight to get out of it. We're not going to just sit down and, okay, I'll do it, you know. So that's where in the field, when a lot of people still use these techniques, and with some kids they still work fine. But there's a lot of kids who, if you try to touch them or make them do something when they're not wanting to, it just has a backwards reaction. They fight back, and then it becomes a power struggle. It is no longer about the demand at all. It's about who is going to win this fight. And most of the time the adult wins because usually the kids are smaller, but what do you think happens as they get older and bigger and stronger? It gets a lot harder. So when you are able to avoid having to do this, you have a child who's much more excited to be with you and motivated to learn.